Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, I'm out here at Jacksonville Beach, Florida out here, and it's my lunchtime. I figured I'd take a few minutes, walk on the beach, because I don't get out here to this side of the town that often. So here we go. What's our subject for today? Commission selling, how it works, and how to make big money at it. Now, normally I wouldn't be wearing my glasses talking, but it's a little shiny out here. So our question again is commission selling, how it works, and how to make big money at it. First off, guys, if you're getting into sales, you're probably going to have somebody say, hey, you're going to have to work on commission. And if you've never worked on commission, you may be kind of a little apprehensive. You may be a little bit afraid of it. You may be saying to yourself, I don't know if I can do that. Well, here's the thing. Unless you try, you won't. And see, a lot of risk means a lot of pay. There's a lot of opportunities if you're just getting into the sales business that you're trying to figure out, well, what kind of sales should I get into? And here's the thing. You got some businesses that are in retail. Some of those businesses will give you an opportunity to make a little bit of a salary plus commission, which can help you get to a point where you get really good at talking to people, selling to people, and it helps a lot. Then you have a lot of companies these days that are just straight butt commission. I mean straight butt commission. That means you don't get nothing unless you sell something. You know, when I first started in sales back in the 80s, I remember it was pretty doggone awesome. I had this guy that showed me the ropes, told me some basic fundamentals about selling, showed me a lot of the awards and stuff that he got. He just showed me that, hey, there was a different way of life. At the time, I was working like 3 jobs. Man, I could barely pay attention. I was barely making any money. And I liked this guy. He was real friendly. And he was like, I'm the kind of person, I listen to people all the time. Because I've always been a little bit hungry for money. I've always wanted to make more money. And one of the advantages that you have is when you're working in commission, you kind of work for yourself. So that means you may say, I don't work for myself, I work for a company. No, you work for yourself. Because if you work on commission, if you're a hustler, a person who works really, really hard, you can make a tremendous amount of money in selling. It's just the truth, guys. And I'm going to tell you what, commission sales, it's not really complicated, but the key to success in commission sales is to find your niche. Find a product that you feel comfortable selling, because if you sell a product that you're not real comfortable with, it takes a minute to get used to a product, don't get me wrong. But if you're selling a product that's not working for you, go out there and find another sales job. There's too many sales jobs out there where people are biting for your attention. Now, I've had to try a bunch of different sales jobs in my career before I found some that I really got really, really good at. And if you're working on straight commission, unfortunately, what happens sometimes is you may not have a lot of time to start making a little bit of money or start making a lot of money. And the reason why is because you work on straight commission, you may have bills. Now, if you got a significant other, if you have the capability to live at home with your parents and so forth, and be able to get a sales job, it gives you a little bit of a leg up. And the reason why I stress that is, it is the opportunity for you to get a hold of the subject and then go from there. Selling can be very fun, guys, but it can also be very stressful. It can also give you, it gives you the capability to do more for yourself and your family than almost any other job. Did you know that salespeople around the world make more money than almost anybody in any other job? Now, you may have some high-tech jobs and stuff where people are paying you a tremendous amount of money, but the majority of people who are working in selling are making the big money. Now, when I first got into sales, I was a door-to-door salesperson. I got real lucky. I got to work with some really great people. I got the fundamentals. I was taught to watch and listen to audio, to continuously train and get better and better and better at my selling skills. Now, remember this one thing. If you do not look outside the box training and start looking outside the box to figure out ways and means to make more money, you probably won't. But see, here's the thing. Don't be afraid of commission. Now, I'm a single parent. Now, I've raised my son by myself since he was about a month old. And he's in his 16s now and stuff like this. But when I had to I had to take some sales jobs at the time when he was real little that were not the best sales job. And in the past now, I was single, didn't have any kids or anything, and I was able to take those more riskier sales jobs. But when I had my kid, I had to work the hours that were conducive. So if you're working on commission and maybe you work in a retail environment, that might be a safe place for you, because like I said, a lot of times these kind of places will give you a little bit of money to work with, furniture business, stuff like this. They'll give you some extra money just to survive and make some money until you get good at selling. Other things that like insurance and a lot of these other kind of businesses, you got to work straight commission, baby. You work on what they call lead programs. So hopefully you've saved for a rainy day where you've got some money in the bank. And if you got some credit cards, be real careful, because when you work on commission, if you load up your credit cards with a bunch of leads and stuff and you don't use those leads, don't waste your leads, baby. They're real important. They matter. You're going to find that, hey, you're broke. Commission sales to me is the only way to go. If a lot of companies that were out there in the world put everybody on commission, people would be doing a hell of a lot better job than they've been doing, or they are doing. In commission sales, it's up to you, baby. You're the boss. You're the one who has to show up every day. You're the one who has to pick up that heavy phone. You're that person that's going to have to talk to people. And I'm going to tell you what, it ain't always easy. There are different programs out there that can help you. I mean, you can go to Toastmasters. If you have a problem talking and communicating with people, that is a great organization where you can go to learn how to get up in front of people, have conversations, just be the best salesperson that you can be. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, a sales guy, and today we're talking about my favorite subject, which is commission selling, how it works, and how to make big money. Big money comes again with a big risk. If you are a salesperson and if you're trying to make a lot of money, you gotta get into commission selling. One of the keys to success in this regard also is that you need to make sure that you get certifications, licenses, because what that does is give you more of an opportunity to sell bigger and better products. Now, if you're a salesperson, if you're out there trying to make a lot of money and stuff like that, you gotta find your niche, you gotta find the product that works best for you. You gotta also make sure that when you're out there selling, that you give it your all. Because a lot of times what happens is people quit the sales career because, see, they got on commission, they didn't make the money that people said, oh, you're going to make all this big money. Well, yes, you can, but it's a process. It takes time. You have to learn the fundamentals, how to conversate, how to talk to people. You got to make sure that when you're out there selling, that you also take care of your customers. You got to get referrals. You got to go back and see these people sometimes over and over and over. You get a territory, and when you work on commission, if you're trying to make a tremendous amount of money, and I know you are, you have to do the best. You got to think outside the box. You got to get always continuing training. You've always got to make sure that the people, that are in your life are going to be mentors and people who can help you get to the next level. Commission salespeople, they say they're a dime a dozen because there's always somebody else, but it's not true. Not everybody has the gift and the ways to be able to talk to people and have conversations. Just like I'm having a conversation with you, not everybody has that capability to sell something. I'm saying it seriously, guys, because commission sales means that you got to get in uncomfortable situations. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to do things that most people don't do. A lot of people, they do their 9-to-5 job. They're happy with that. They're happy with their little bit of money. But if you're like me, you're a salesperson who works on commission, you're wanting to make a big amount of money. The only way to make big amount of money is to sell something. You got to get your leads out there. You got to knock on the doors. You got to pick up the heavy phone. You got to have conversation. And people ask me all the time, Gary, are you always selling? Yes, I am. I'm always selling. I'm always talking to people, telling people what I do. I'm promoting my businesses all the time. I'm always putting myself in a situation in a better place. And I live within my means, guys. I'm going to tell you what, if you work on straight commission and you start making some paychecks, put some of that stuff in a rainy day fund, because what'll happen is you'll be doing real good. You'll be making all kinds of big money. And then one day you won't make any money. Then it'll be a week, it could be 2 weeks, and then you go, what happened? I lost my mojo, I lost my magic. No, you didn't. What happened was, it's a life cycle, it's a sales cycle. And unfortunately, in the sales business, things change, ebb and flow. New things happen, new products come out there, and it's like this. You have to put your money in a place where you can have it for a rainy day. I used to live without my means. I used to be out there spending all my money, driving all the nice cars, having all this nice stuff, spending all my money. But I've learned as I've gotten older, and I'm giving some advice. I'm not your daddy, I ain't your mom, I ain't your preacher. I'm just kind of like a teacher who's been out in sales for such a long time that I know that if you're in commission sales, There'll be good days, bad days, and some days you wish you would have stayed up in that bed, baby. And so what I'm sharing with you in this regard is if you're trying to be a great salesperson, you're going to be working on commission, you need to go ahead and put some money away for a rainy day. It's all right to buy those nice things, those luxurious things. It's nice to have really, really nice things. But remember, guys, the smart people, some of the richest people I know that work on commission, they put that money in a place. They're very humble. These salespeople that are very humble, you know, they like to share their wealth of knowledge, their information, and they love to help people. And, you know, and selling and working on commission, it's a great opportunity. Now, if you're a young person, if you're just getting into sales, you know, you're going to be all motivated and educated. You're going to have these people tell you, rah, rah, rah. And then they're going to say, go sell something. Okay, and then you got to go out there and get your feet wet. And what happens, sometimes you got some people that blow up. They get real good at it real fast. But then you have some people that come on slow. So don't ever underestimate somebody who may not be in the fastest right then. Because see, what will happen is time will tell. I've seen some people that were like lightning. They came out the gate, they were doing real good, then they got burned out. And then I saw some of those people who were a little bit slower at first, who came out and then they took over. Because time progressed, years went by, and people who've been in sales for 3, 4, 5 years have learned how to have those selling conversations about those particular products that they're selling. And they know that if they work on commission, they're planning for not just that day, they're planning for that week, that month, and that year. And you got your mentors, you got your bosses who've got, you know, they have vested interest in you. So if you're working on commission and you're trying to figure out, what do I need to do? What's the next thing I need to do? Talk to those people who've been there and done that. Again, they want you to be successful. But here's the thing. Unfortunately, people give up before the miracle. It's true, guys. I've been in sales a long time, and one of the keys to success in selling is don't quit the field of sales. I've worked with companies who've been in business a long time who went out of business. I worked with people who were in business for a short amount of time who went out of business. They forgot about their customer base, they forgot about their customer service, and they forgot how to sell. See, commission sales is the only way to go, guys. It's the only way where you can make as much money as you possibly can. But you have to put your work into it, guys. Nobody's going to pay you unless you produce. And people who produce are the ones who probably work harder, they work more hours. And I know this from personal experience. If you don't work hard, if you don't work smart, you're not going to make the tremendous amount of money that you're looking forward to making. And in selling, our topic for today, and my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, is commission selling, how it works and how to make big money at it. The key to success at making big money is you got to do the do. You got to do the things that people don't like to do, like the hard work. You got to pick up the phone. You got to make those calls. You got to go see those people. You got to clover knock. You got to do all the stuff that'll make you successful. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. We just had a really simple conversation about selling, working on commission, how it works, and if it can work for you, you can make some real money. So go out there and sell something, but if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, and we just had a great video on commission selling, how it works, and how to make it big. You got this. So go out there and sell something, and have a nice day. All right.
Should I be in your video?
You just were.